They say desperation makes you blind to danger. I never believed that until the night I signed a lease that didn't exist. It was 2 a.m, 3 weeks after my girlfriend left, taking half the furniture and all of my dignity. I was crashing on a friend's couch, scrolling through Craigslist rental listings with the kind of desperation that makes bad decisions feel inevitable. That's when I saw a studio apartment in downtown Seattle, Capitol Hill area, $600 a month. In a city where closets rent for $1,200, this was impossible. The listing was sparse. Just 3 photos. A clean living space with hardwood floors, a kitchenette with stainless steel appliances, and a bedroom area with a large window. No description, just an email contact. The poster's name was Mark. No last name, no phone number, just Mark. I should have closed my laptop right there. Instead, I sent an email at 2:47 a.m. By 3:15 a.m., Mark had responded. His message was brief, almost mechanical. Available immediately. Cash only. First month and deposit. Can you move in tomorrow? Tomorrow. The word felt urgent, almost predatory. But I was tired, broke, and running out of options. I responded yes. We arranged to meet at the apartment the next evening. Mark insisted on 9 p.m. Said he worked late shifts. Another red flag I chose to ignore. The building was older, brick facade with a green awning, tucked between a coffee shop and a vintage clothing store. Normal, safe, urban. Mark was waiting outside, mid-40 seconds. Average height, forgettable face. The kind of person you'd pass on the street and never remember. He didn't shake my hand, just nodded and unlocked the front door. The hallway smelled like old carpet and lemon cleaning solution. We climbed to the 3rd floor in silence. The apartment was exactly like the photos. Spotless, furnished. A gray couch, a coffee table with a few books stacked neatly, a small dining table with 2 chairs. The kitchenette had a coffee mug sitting beside the sink, like someone had just used it that morning. Previous tenant? I asked, pointing at the mug. Left suddenly, Mark said. He didn't elaborate. I should have asked more questions. Instead, I handed him $1,200 in cash. He counted it without expression, then handed me a single key. No lease, no receipt, no paperwork. Enjoy your new place, he said, and left before I could respond. That first night felt surreal. I ordered pizza, unpacked my 2 suitcases, and tried to make the space feel like mine. But there was something off about it, too personal. The books on the coffee table weren't generic, they were worn, annotated, someone's favorites. A jacket hung in the closet, too small for me. A phone charger, plugged in beside the bed. I told myself the previous tenant really had left in a hurry. Around midnight, I heard it. Breathing. Slow, rhythmic, deliberate. It was coming from the wall beside my bed. I pressed my ear against the drywall. It was there, unmistakable. Human breathing. I convinced myself it was pipes, or a neighbor, or my imagination. I put in headphones and tried to sleep. The next morning, I noticed the poster. It was above my bed, a generic landscape print, slightly crooked. I straightened it. That's when I saw the hole, small, perfectly drilled, about the size of a pencil eraser, and inside that hole, a tiny glass lens reflecting the morning light. My entire body went cold. I tore the poster down. The camera was embedded in the wall, wired through to somewhere deeper in the building. I started searching, frantically. The bathroom mirror, another hole, another lens. The smoke detector in the living room hollowed out, camera inside. The air vent above the kitchen, the bookshelf, the closet. 7 cameras, all active, all watching. I called the police. They arrived within 20 minutes, 2 officers, a man and a woman. I showed them everything. They took photos, asked questions, tried calling the number I didn't have for Mark. The email bounced back. Invalid address. They searched the building. Apartment 3B, where I was staying, wasn't listed on any rental registry. The building's owner, an elderly woman who lived on the 1st floor, had no idea someone was renting it. She said it had been vacant for 8 months. But someone rented it to me, I insisted. Mark. He gave me the key. The male officer exchanged a glance with his partner. Sir, we've had reports about this address before. 3 others, over the past 2 years. Same story, same cash deal, same cameras. What happened to them? I asked. The officer hesitated. They stopped coming forward, stopped cooperating with the investigation. We'd call for follow-ups, and they'd just vanish. Not missing, just unresponsive. I moved out that night, stayed in a motel, then found a legitimate apartment through a real agency with real paperwork. But I still think about it, about Mark, whoever he really was, about the cameras and where the footage went, about the 3 people before me who stopped answering calls, and sometimes, late at night, I wonder if one of those cameras is still watching me, somewhere I haven't found yet. My wife Sarah and I learned a hard lesson about free things. They're only free if you survive picking them up. We'd just bought our first house, a small 2-bedroom fixer-upper outside Portland. New mortgage, empty rooms, and a budget that made IKEA feel like a luxury. So naturally, Craigslist became our furniture store. We'd already picked up a couch, a kitchen table, even a working microwave. All free, all fine. Then we found the bedroom set. The listing appeared on a Thursday night. Complete oak bedroom, set frame, dresser, 2 nightstands, free. Must pick up tonight. The photos showed beautiful craftsmanship, solid wood, barely used. The location was listed as Timber Ridge Road, about 40 minutes outside the city. Sarah was hesitant. Why does it have to be tonight? Estate sale, I said, reading the description. Seller's father passed away. Needs it gone before the company comes tomorrow. The seller's name was Janet. She responded to my message within minutes, providing an address and asking what time we could arrive. I said 8 p.m. She said perfect. We loaded our pickup truck with blankets and straps, plugged the address into Google Maps, and headed out as the sun was setting. The drive started normal highway, then rural roads, then gravel. Then the GPS led us onto a logging road, barely wide enough for one vehicle, hemmed in by dense forest on both sides. This doesn't feel right, Sarah said. I agreed, but we were already 30 minutes in, and turning around on that narrow road felt more dangerous than continuing forward. The house appeared suddenly, set back from the road, surrounded by tall pines that blocked most of the moonlight. It was a single-story ranch, paint peeling, porch sagging. Only one light was on a bare bulb above the front door. Janet was waiting outside, mid-30 seconds, thin, blonde hair pulled back tight. She was wearing a jacket despite the warm evening, arms crossed, shifting her weight from foot to foot. You made it, she said, not friendly, just factual. Thanks for holding it for us, I said, trying to sound casual. She didn't smile. It's in the garage. Let's be quick. She led us around the side of the house. The garage door was already open, interior dark except for a single work light hanging from the ceiling. The bedroom set was there, just as pictured. Beautiful, solid, real. This is amazing, Sarah said, running her hand along the dresser. Are you sure you don't want anything for it? Just take it, Janet said. She was standing in the doorway, not helping, not coming closer. She kept glancing back toward the house. We started loading. The frame first, then the dresser. It was heavy, solid oak. As I lifted the second nightstand, angling it toward the truck bed, something slid out from underneath. A leather wallet, worn and cracked. It landed face up. The driver's license was visible through the clear plastic window. I froze. The photo showed a man, brown hair, beard, mid-30 seconds. The name, Daniel Pritchett. The address, Beaverton, Oregon. I'd seen that face before, on a poster, at a gas station about 20 miles back, taped to the bathroom wall. Missing. Last seen 6 weeks ago. My hands started shaking. I looked up at Janet. She was staring at me, eyes hollow, expression unreadable. You weren't supposed to find that, she whispered. Sarah grabbed my arm. We need to go. I dropped the nightstand. It hit the concrete with a heavy thud. Janet didn't move, didn't blink. She just stood there, backlit by that single bulb, watching us. We ran to the truck. I fumbled with the keys, hands trembling so badly I could barely get them in the ignition. Sarah was looking back at the garage. She's not moving, Sarah said. She's just standing there. I started the engine and reversed hard. tires spitting gravel. Janet didn't chase us, didn't shout. She just stood there, motionless, as we disappeared down that logging road. We drove straight to the nearest sheriff's office, 23 miles away. Showed them the wallet, gave them the address, told them everything. 2 deputies drove out that night. The house was abandoned. The furniture was gone. Janet was gone. But they found other things. Records in the house, old property documents, a storage shed out back. Inside the shed, more furniture. A couch with someone's keys still between the cushions. A dining table with initials carved underneath. A bookshelf with someone's name written in the inside cover of every book. All of it matched missing persons cases. 7 people, over the last 3 years, all from Craigslist free listings, all lured to that house, all disappeared. Janet was never found. Neither was the real owner of the property, a man named Gordon Phelps, who'd been missing for 4 years. We never furnished our bedroom. That space stayed empty for 2 years until we sold the house and moved to California. Sarah still refuses to use Craigslist, and I still see Janet sometimes, in my mind, standing in that garage doorway, illuminated by a single bulb, whispering words I'll never forget. You weren't supposed to find that. I used to think stranger danger was something parents made up to scare kids. Then I got in a car with a man who'd been dead for 2 years. I was living in Boston, working a contract job that had just ended, and I needed to get back to Montreal where my family lived. Train tickets were $200, buses were packed, flights were worse. Then I saw the Craigslist post, rideshare Boston to Montreal, leaving this weekend. I posted my own request, willing to split gas, provide navigation, and help with driving if needed. Within an hour, David responded. His message was professional, polite, included a link to his Facebook profile. I checked 300 friends, photos from hiking trips, family gatherings. Looked legitimate. He even had a LinkedIn, software engineer, worked remotely, made the drive every few months to visit family. I'm heading up Saturday morning, dawn departure, he wrote. If you help navigate and keep me company, I'll cover the gas. Just chip in for food. It seemed too good to be true. I should have trusted that instinct. We met at a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot at 5:30 a.m. David was exactly as his profile photo showed. Mid-40s, clean cut, glasses, friendly smile. His SUV was a newer model, clean interior, phone mount on the dashboard. Ready for a road trip? He asked, shaking my hand. I climbed into the passenger seat, tossed my backpack in the back, and buckled in. The first hour was easy. We talked about work, about Montreal, about the best poutine spots. He seemed normal, kind, even. Then we hit the Vermont border, and he missed the exit. Whoops, he said, glancing at the GPS. Except the GPS wasn't on. Did you miss 89 North? I asked. Taking a shortcut, he said. Avoids tolls. But the road he turned onto wasn't a highway. It was a 2-lane rural route, winding deeper into forested hills. Houses became sparse, then disappeared entirely. David, I think we should turn around, I said, keeping my voice calm. We're almost there, he said. His tone had changed. Flat, mechanical. Almost where? He didn't answer. I pulled out my phone. No signal. We were too far into the mountains. I glanced at David. His jaw was clenched, hands tight on the wheel. His phone, sitting in the cup holder, buzzed. A text notification lit up the screen. I saw the name Jay. The message preview read, "Is she cooperative?" My stomach dropped. I forced myself to breathe slowly, to not show panic. Hey, I'm not feeling great, I said. Can we pull over? Just for a minute? David glanced at me. His expression was unreadable. We're almost there. Almost where? I asked again, louder this time. He reached over and pressed the door lock button. All 4 doors clicked shut. David, let me out. Just a few more minutes, he said. Calm. Too calm. I gripped my phone, finger hovering over the emergency call button. If I had even 1 bar of signal, I'd dial 911. But there was nothing. He pulled into a rest stop. Gravel lot surrounded by trees, no other cars. He put the SUV in park but left the engine running. I need to use the bathroom, he said. He looked at me, eyes cold. Stay here. The moment he stepped out and walked toward the restroom building, I unlocked the door and ran. I didn't look back. I sprinted into the woods, branches tearing at my jacket, roots catching my feet. I heard him behind me, calling my name. Emily, Emily, come back! You're being ridiculous! His voice was calm at first, then louder, then angry. I kept running until I couldn't hear him anymore. Then I found a dense cluster of bushes, crawled underneath, and went silent. I stayed there for 6 hours. I heard him searching, calling my name, moving through the trees. Then I heard the SUV engine start, tires on gravel, and finally, silence. I waited another hour before moving. A park ranger found me stumbling along a trail at dusk, dehydrated and shaking. I told him everything. He called the police. They traced the plates. Stolen vehicle, registered to a man named David Cormier from Maine. The real David Cormier had been dead for 2 years, killed in a car accident. Whoever was driving that SUV had stolen his identity, his photos, his entire online presence. They never found him. They never found Jay. They never found out what was supposed to happen when we reached wherever Almost There was. I took a bus back to Montreal. Cost me $150 I didn't have, but I paid it, and I survived. Now when I see Craigslist rideshare posts, I scroll past them, because somewhere out there, someone is still posting, still driving, still looking for the next person desperate enough to ignore the warning signs. And I was almost one of them. Desperation makes you accept invitations you should run from. I learned that in a basement I almost never left. I'd been unemployed for 7 months, savings gone, resume sent to 400+ places, interviews leading nowhere. My confidence was shattered. My rent was overdue, and my parents were running out of patience. So when I saw the Craigslist job posting personal assistant, $25 hour, flexible schedule, work from home, I applied immediately. The employer, Harrison Reed, responded within an hour. Professional email, well-written, courteous. He explained he was a private investor, worked from his estate, needed someone to manage correspondence, research, and scheduling. The interview would be at his home, about an hour outside the city. I should have questioned why he wasn't using LinkedIn, Indeed, or any legitimate platform, but I needed the job. The address led me down a long private road, trees forming a canopy overhead, blocking the afternoon sun. The estate appeared suddenly a sprawling stone house, elegant but isolated. No neighbors, no traffic, just woods in every direction. Harrison met me at the door. Mid-50 seconds, salt and pepper hair, tailored suit, charming smile. He looked like someone from a wealth management commercial. "You must be Claire," he said, shaking my hand. His grip was firm, confident. "Come in. I'll show you around." The house was immaculate. High ceilings, expensive art, a library that smelled like leather and old books. He offered tea, talked about his work investments, consulting, international clients. It all sounded legitimate. "The role requires discretion," he said as we walked. "I value privacy. My clients value privacy. Can you respect that?" "Of course," I said. "Good," he smiled. "Let me show you the office." He led me down a hallway, then through a door that opened to a staircase. Basement stairs. The steps were concrete, the air cooler as we descended. At the bottom, another door, heavy, reinforced, with a deadbolt on the outside. "Security," Harrison explained, noticing my hesitation. "I keep sensitive documents down here." He unlocked the door and gestured me inside. The basement office was surprisingly comfortable. Desk with a computer, filing cabinets, a small kitchenette with a mini fridge and microwave, even a cot in the corner with a neatly made bed. "Sometimes the work requires late hours," Harrison said. "I provide accommodations so you're not driving home exhausted. Comfortable, right?" It looked comfortable, but something felt wrong. The door was too heavy. The deadbolt was on the outside. There were no windows. "This is very generous," I said carefully, "but I'm not sure I'd need to stay overnight." "Let me get you that tea," Harrison interrupted, already walking to the kitchenette. He filled a kettle, set out a mug. "You look tense. This will help." I watched him prepare it. He added honey, stirred slowly, handed it to me with that same charming smile. "Drink," he said, "not a request." Every instinct screamed at me to refuse. But I was in a basement, alone, with a man I didn't know, and the door was closed behind us. I took the mug, raised it to my lips, took the smallest sip possible. It tasted bitter under the honey. "Drink more," Harrison said. His smile was gone now. His voice was flat, cold. "I should go," I said, setting the mug down. "Sit down, Claire." My legs felt weak. The room started tilting. I tried to move toward the door, but my body wasn't responding. I stumbled, grabbed the desk for balance. Harrison was beside me, guiding me to the cot. "Don't fight it," he said softly. "The last 3 assistants fought it first too. But they learned. You'll learn." I tried to scream, but my throat wouldn't work. My vision blurred. The last thing I saw was Harrison standing over me, pulling out his phone, typing something. Then nothing. I woke up to voices. Loud, authoritative voices. Police voices. My head was pounding, mouth dry, body heavy. I was still on the cot, but there were people around me now. Paramedics, officers. Someone was checking my pulse, shining a light in my eyes. "She's responsive," a woman's voice said. A police officer knelt beside me. "Claire, you're safe now. Your mother tracked your phone. When you didn't answer her calls, she contacted us. They found me unconscious. They found 2 other women locked in adjacent rooms, both drugged, both barely conscious. They found filing cabinets full of printed Craigslist job postings, emails, applications from hundreds of women over the last 6 years. Harrison escaped through a tunnel system under the property. They searched for weeks, never found him. I spent 3 days in the hospital, months in therapy. I still can't drink tea. I still panic in windowless rooms, and I still check every job posting, every email, every too-good-to-be-true opportunity, wondering if Harrison is still out there, still posting, still interviewing, because men like him don't stop. They just find new ads to post, new women to invite, new basements to lock, and somewhere, someone desperate enough is clicking apply. I thought I was being careful. Background check, references, security deposit. I did everything right, and I still invited a predator into my home. I was living in Chicago, a decent 1-bedroom apartment in Wicker Park, rent I couldn't afford alone. My previous roommate had moved out suddenly, leaving me with 2 weeks to find someone or break my lease. I posted on Craigslist, "Roommate needed, $650, month, available immediately." Alex responded the same day. Professional email, polite tone, said they worked in tech, kept to themselves, no drama. They sent a driver's license photo, a copy of a pay stub, even 2 references. I called the references, both confirmed. Alex was quiet, responsible, always paid on time. I should have asked more questions. I should have met them somewhere public first. But I was desperate, and Alex was offering 3 months' rent up front in cash. We met at the apartment. Alex was early 32s, average height, brown hair, neutral clothing. Forgettable. The kind of person you'd pass on the street and never remember. They looked around, nodded approvingly, handed me an envelope with $1,950 in cash. "When can I move in?" Alex asked. "Today, if you want," I said. They moved in that afternoon. 2 suitcases, a laptop, a duffel bag. No furniture, no decorations, no photos. I asked if they needed help setting up. "I travel light," Alex said. "I won't be in your way." And they weren't. At first, Alex was quiet, almost invisible. They left early in the morning, came home late at night, spent most of their time in their room. We barely spoke beyond polite greetings. Perfect roommate, I thought. Then the small things started. My mail was opened, just slightly, carefully resealed, but opened. I noticed because a bank statement had a crease where there shouldn't have been one. I confronted Alex casually, asked if they'd accidentally grabbed my mail. "Oh, sorry," Alex said. "It was mixed with mine. Won't happen again." But it did. Letters, packages, bills, all opened, all resealed. Then food started disappearing from the fridge. Not a lot, just small things. A yogurt, a sandwich, leftovers. But then they'd reappear the next day, perfectly replaced. Same brand, same flavor. Like Alex was borrowing my food and returning it, I started noticing my bedroom door. I always closed it fully when I left, but I'd come home and find it slightly ajar. Just an inch. Just enough. "Alex, have you been in my room?" I asked one evening. They looked confused. "No. Why would I? The door keeps opening." "Old building," they said with a shrug. "Floors aren't level. Doors drift." I wanted to believe that. Then I found the journal. I was looking for cleaning supplies under the bathroom sink, reaching behind the bottles of bleach and tile cleaner, when my hand brushed against something solid. A notebook, spiral-bound, shoved into the back corner. I pulled it out. The cover was unmarked. I opened it. The first page had my name at the top, Claire Donnelly. Underneath, a list. Leaves for work, 7:45 a.m. Returns home, 6:30 p.m. Gym, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Grocery shopping, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Calls mother, Sunday evenings. Ex-boyfriend, Daniel, breakup, April. I flipped the page. More notes. What I ate for breakfast. What time I turned off my bedroom light. What TV shows I watched. Sketches of my face, my profile, my hands, page after page. Then, near the end, a section labeled Timeline. Week 6, Trust established. Week 8, Increased proximity. Week 10, Isolation phase begins. Week 12, Ready. There was a date circled. 2 weeks from today. I took photos of every page with my phone, hands shaking so badly I could barely hold it steady. Then I put the journal back exactly where I found it. I went to the police the next morning. They ran Alex's driver's license. Fake. The pay stub. Forged. The references. Disconnected phone numbers. Likely burner phones Alex had controlled. The address on the rental application didn't exist. It was a vacant lot in Gary, Indiana. The detective's face went pale when she pulled up Alex's information. "We've seen this before," she said quietly. 3 times. Same MO. Same fake documents. Same pattern. "What happened to the other roommates?" I asked. She hesitated. "They disappeared. One in Milwaukee, one in Minneapolis, one in Street Louis. All within 4 months of Alex moving in. I got a restraining order that day. Changed the locks while Alex was out. Alex never came back for their belongings. The 2 suitcases, the laptop, the duffel bag. Police searched everything. Burner phones, more fake IDs, printed Craigslist ads for rooms in 6 different cities. But no real name, no real identity, no trace of who Alex really was. I moved out a week later. Then I moved again. Then again. I've lived in 4 cities in 3 years. I don't post on Craigslist anymore. I don't take roommates. And I check every lock, every window, every shadow. Because people like Alex don't stop. They just move to the next city, post the next ad, find the next desperate person who needs to split rent. And somewhere, right now, someone is opening their door to let them in.